Let's start by creating the two lists. The first list being the projects list. This is where we'll list the project that needs the subfolders. And for this one, I'll create a link directly down to the project folder. This is the one I'm creating here. And next up, we'll create the folder list, which contains the names of the folders we want to create as subfolders in the Sharepoint Designer workflow. I'll just create a few web parts here on the front page so we can follow up how it's going to work. And here I'll set the folder list web part, just click Save and Close. And I'll just add 5 items to the folder list. Plain simple. Now let's go in and create the actual workflow. I'll set it as a list workflow, set to projects. Let's just name it. No, let's just call it new projects. New project. Now I always like to start off by creating the steps that I want the workflow to go through. I'll create some variables. I need to create a root folder. I need to create a subfolder, and I need to create a link. That's basically the 4 steps I need the workflow to do. And we'll kick off by creating all the variables that we need for the project. I'll need a root folder variable, some variables for the subfolders, and then a link to the documents, the document folder for the project. So I'll start off, and you have to make one command per subfolder. Unfortunately, the Sharepoint Designer workflow doesn't allow you to loop through a list, which would have been a whole lot easier and would make this fully dynamic, but that's not the case. I'm still working on how to make this even more dynamic, still without using the Visual Studio. And let's see, I'll get to the subfolder 4 here, string. I'll set it folder list as a title, the ID equals 4, the last one. Let's just see, and this is subfolder 5. I'll set the folder list title, ID equals 5. Then we need the link, and here I will need to still create a new variable, and the type is also string, and the value, don't forget, click the 3 icons. I'll just copy paste the link from my development environment. Use your own. Add question mark root folder equals. Remember to exchange the forward slashes with %2f and then spaces with %20. And I'll set the root folder. And then you'll need the lookup to your vroot folder. And then that should work. Remember, set a comma and a space and then the description text. Let's go ahead, create the root folder. I'll set the list to shared documents, add a content type ID, set that to folder, and then edit the path and name. And here comes all my variables in handy. I'll set that to root folder. And then we continue to the subfolders, and here's the trick. You need same procedure, and when you set the path and name, note the forward slash between the two variables. Here we go. And then set the subfolder 1. Okay. And then rinse and repeat. Do that for each subfolder you need to create. So that brings us back to the problem with you not being able to loop through a SharePoint list and just say for each items in this list create the root and the subfolder. But let's just sit back, relax, wait until I'm finished. I'll just keep on creating the items for the subfolders. I need to create 5 more. It'll just take a moment. I'll fast forward this a bit. All done. Now I just need to create the link for the project documents. I'll just update the item in the current item, add a field called project documents, and set in my variable, which is called the vlink to doc. Just go up a bit. There we go. Click OK, 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 and then you're done. Basically, you set up the settings, make the workflow start automatically on new item, publish the workflow. Great, let's go test it out. Get back to the browser, open your front page, and let's try adding a project. I'll just call this one project 1. Click save, and then give it a few seconds to kick in. Click or refresh the page, and here you see there's the folder and the document link. Now if I click on project 1, I'll see the 5 subfolders that it's created, which is great. Now if I click the project documents, I'll end up in the document library with the project folder as the root folder. Now let's try and change one of the items on the folder list. I'll change budget into, let's say, economics. And then I'll try to create a project 2. See if that doesn't match out. Then it should create 5 subfolders with, instead of budget, it should just be economics. Let's just refresh the page. Yes, here we go, and let's see. And woohoo, it works. Great. It's that simple.